It's that time of year
We're
again.
back. And we're back. And it's Valentine's Day month. Yeah.
Woohoo. I mean,
This is giving golden retriever and black cat vibes over Valentine's Day.
I'm for it.
Yes, me too. At
Welcome
least
to the Easy Speak, everybody.
welcome to the Easy Speak February edition.
And for those who aren't watching us with your eye sockets, you are unfortunately missing the battle of February that Diana and I start every single February 1st, where she starts getting her nails painted in every shade of pink. And I start wearing as much black as one person could possibly wear at any given point in time. So Diana's wearing one interesting outfit that is straight up pink, including a pink hood. If that thing was in black, it would be a total slay.
I have this in black.
That I'm down for.
Yeah.
And I'm wearing blackout sunglasses, a black headband with skulls on it, my black crystal for protection from this conversation, and a black bodysuit, and black pants, and black sneakers, and red lips.
And a red lip, though.
Mwah, for the kiss of death.
Mwah. And in our cups, we have.
In our cups today, we are drinking a Pink Lady. Cheers.
Yes.
A little ginny gin drink. Check out our Easy Sips and get the little recipe and some directions on that. And it is delicious. What do you think, Diana? Do you like it?
I did not look at the ratios of anything you sent me.
Did you put in too much grenadine?
I just put the ingredients, right? So it's Hendrix, or not Hendrix, gin, grenadine, lemon, egg white.
Yeah.
That's it, right? I added a little bit of cherry juice, and I did like a sugar rim. And it's pretty good, but I think it just has more gin than I anticipated. So it's more martini-ish than like cocktail-ish, if you know what I'm saying. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mine is not that. It's like a nice mix. It's not too sweet.
Yeah, it's
But
nice.
you can make, this is one of those drinks that for people that like, if you like it a little sweeter, you can do more grenadine. If you don't like it as sweet, you can do less grenadine and you still have like a slay of a drink.
Yeah, it's really good. I like it. So I got a question for you.
Do you now?
Yeah.
Is it related to Valentine's Day?
Yes.
Okay.
What do you have against love?
That doesn't have anything to do with Valentine's Day.
What?
Valentine's Day. I'll tell you what I have against Valentine's Day.
Okay.
I have nothing against love. I love love.
I know that.
Love.
That's why I'm so shocked at your distaste of Valentine's Day. It's a day to celebrate love.
No, it's a day that the United States capitalist life, society, and foolishness has decided to use to sell shit to people that they don't need, and to make people go out and spend money and ruin restaurants for an entire day.
Ruin them? They give them restaurants make so much money on Valentine's Day. But I'm sorry, I did not let you finish.
For those who are visiting the restaurants, buy. I mean, unless you're going to a very nice restaurant, right, where you have a reservation. But in
Yeah.
the current state of America, most people cannot afford that.
Yeah.
So they're going somewhere and they're sitting in a freaking TGI Fridays, like,
Bomb.
waiting area for
No,
17 hours.
never. No.
This is life, though.
Those are personal choices. You
No,
will
so that's all that some people can, like, afford to do.
you will not. First of all, I agree with you on this consumer capitalism thing on Valentine's Day. But I will say there's no difference between that and Christmas
I
or
totally agree.
Halloween.
And you see how I act on Christmas and Halloween.
You get into the Christmas spirit. You like Christmas.
I like to spend time with my family, and
Yeah.
I like to put up decorations and, like, do fun things that are, like, with my friends or, like, that are
Yeah.
about spending time together.
Yeah.
I don't my kids, for my kids, I'm like, "Here's an envelope and some money. Have a nice day.
Yeah.
Ho,
Oh,
ho, ho."
I can't wait to get there.
It's just like it's just, like, ridiculous to me, and here's, like, I think for me, the bigger thing that is irritates me when it comes to Valentine's Day
Yeah.
is that it affects people's mental health negatively. Right? Like, there's a reason why there's all of this stuff about Galentine's Day and all this, like, anti-Valentine stuff. It's
Yeah.
because, like, there's a lot of pressure that suddenly happens when Valentine's Day is approaching in, like, from multiple places, not even just people who may not be in a relationship or dating somebody or whatever, but even for people who are in relationships, like, that pressure starts mounting. Like, so many
Yeah.
people get broken up with right, like, at the end of January. It's like there's a huge rate of people that get broken up with because
It's a
people are like,
blessing.
I'm not
Listen,
going out and buying
if he's too
whatever,
broke
whatever.
slash too like you don't even have to have money to that's the thing. Like I feel like that goes back to like that consumer culture of it all. Like I feel like people are like so focused on like what they're getting someone. And then it's of course it's the people who are like this person isn't isn't like worth me trying to figure out how to do something that isn't expensive because I feel like there are ways to show somebody you care without it being expensive. And so if you're going to break up with somebody over an upcoming holiday, like that is a blessing to whoever it is that's getting broken up with, even though in that moment it may not seem like it. But like, hello, like what?
What would you accept as a non-purchased Valentine's celebration
So this is a great
at
question.
this point in your life?
At this point
I know it is. That's why I'm a podcaster.
at this point in my life, at this point in my life, you know, my boyfriend and I have been together for a little bit, and I feel like we show each other that we love each other every day, right? And so, like, Valentine's Day isn't like this time that is built up to like for me to see how much he cares. Like, I would rather see how much he cares because he like fixed my brakes or because he left me a cute note in the morning randomly, right? Of course, I love the girly things. I love chocolate. I love flowers, so it's a good excuse to get those things. But like, this year, Valentine's Day is on a Wednesday. He's got a basketball game. I've got the kids will be here. Like, we're just planning on having a nice romantic evening in where we just order some food and just like spend quality time. And I feel like even if we didn't have all those other things going on, that is kind of like what you were saying around like Christmas or like, any other holiday. I just feel like it's a good designated time to just like pause and just like be in space and to celebrate love, and like, you could celebrate love any day of the year. And gestures of love and romantic gestures are really special, especially when they happen randomly and not because it's part of a prescriptive practice. But yeah, I mean, to answer your question, like if he didn't buy me anything for Valentine's Day, I would be probably, I'm trying to be honest here. Would, like, if he showed up with empty-handed on Valentine's Day, would I be upset? Probably. But like it doesn't have to be like it doesn't have to be like a million roses. Like he could show up with like a rose and like a Hershey's bar and I'd be like, "Oh, so cute. You were thinking of me,"
You
but like
just said you were trying to be honest.
yeah.
Okay, if he pulled up with a one singular rose that he got from somebody on the side of the highway in a Hershey's bar and said,
Yeah.
"Happy Valentine's Day," your response would be, "Oh, you were thinking of me."
I'd like to think, yes.
Yeah. Well, I would like to tell you, as somebody who knows you, that that is not what would happen.
Can I tell you something? I did a get ready with me for this episode, and I started predicting what our conversation would be like. And so far, I'm spot fucking on. So I'm gonna have to send that to Mark so he can insert the clips because my dear fellow co-host um, really does not love Valentine's Day. She is more of a Galentine's Day girl, which I'm sure she'll mention on this episode. I was like, I can already tell Chrissy's gonna be like, this is all capitalistic culture, and I'm gonna be like, but we're celebrating love. OMG. But I mean, yeah, I guess you're right. I guess like even in my response, like I could feel the pressure of like, it's not a big deal if he doesn't do anything, if he doesn't like buy me anything. But like, I guess you're right. There is that like pressure to spend money, which I feel like again is no different than the pressure to spend money for any other holiday, right? Like, and it's weird to say that you like expect gifts, but like also like it's Valentine's Day, like, I grew up having a dad who bought myself and my mom flowers for Valentine's Day every year, and so I have this like in my mind what a traditional Valentine's Day looks like. But I still don't think you have to spend an arm and a leg to make it happen. Like they have flowers at the grocery store. Trader Joe's has flowers for $5. You know what I mean? Like it's not you don't have
Well,
to
the
be
flower
rich.
industry thanks you for your patronage each and every Valentine's Day that they can count on your dollars.
Yes.
It's too
You
bad that
know.
people don't dedicate some money to mental health each and every year. Each and every May Mental Health Awareness Month rolls around, and we cannot bank on
I
people
know.
donating to our nonprofit.
I know. I was just thinking about this. Every year, NPR does like our local NPR station here does a Valentine's Day fundraiser, which I think is super smart. So they partner with a local florist, and X percentage of the sales goes towards, proceeds towards NPR for free public radio. So, I mean, I think we could get creative in the future around Valentine's Day because like you said, it's already money generating, but back to your point about mental health, because I think that's important. I think we had a similar conversation as the winter holidays were approaching, just like the effects of these kind of societal norms that have been built into our culture on us as individuals, especially when we don't fit into whatever mold, or when it puts pressure on us, financially or socially, or even emotionally, right? Because Valentine's Day or like even the holidays are times where like people are expecting you to be cheery, to be in a good mood, to be happy, right? And if you've got stuff going on in your life that is the opposite of all of those things, or if the holidays or, a Valentine's Day in particular reminds you of a challenging thing that's happening in your life, or just makes it that much more salient, it can be really challenging to get in the spirit of it. And Valentine's Day is very much commercialized as like a couple's holiday. And so I feel like oftentimes you hear people who are not in relationships like really loathing Valentine's Day because it like, if you're not in a relationship and you're not happy that you're not in a relationship, then Valentine's Day is like that much more difficult because it's all about the couples. All you see are couples. You go out to the grocery store, it's couples. You like you said, you go out to a restaurant and everybody's eating out and they're coupled up. And so it could really be challenging as a single person on Valentine's Day if you're thinking about Valentine's Day in a traditional sense. But, I think if you're thinking about Valentine's Day as a celebration of love, then there's so many different types of love that we can be celebrating, like with Galentine's Day,
Yeah,
right?
I love the idea of Galentine's Day.
Yeah.
So
Like
fun. And I
girlfriends are
think I
like,
talked about this last year
did
on
you?
our last year's Love and Liquor
Oh my God. Now we get to say like
episode.
last year's like episode.
Woo! We've come such a long way.
It's such a long way.
Um, Last year I talked about how like one of the days of the year that I do like a really fun thing for my kids is always Valentine's morning. Like when they were
Hmm.
growing up, every year they would wake up and I do this special like breakfast for them and whatever. I send them off to school, like a cute little whatever for the day. And that was something that my mom did for me growing up. So like, you know, like I don't even really have a memory of like my parents really like making Valentine's Day like a big deal. It
Yeah.
wasn't like Valentine's Day, they're going out. I just remember that memory of like my mom always making me
Hmm.
like heart-shaped pancakes in the morning before school. And she used to always have like our little red plates and like all of that stuff.
Cute.
And so, yeah, I think that there's lots of different ways to do that. But I think like for me, when I think about people who are struggling with their mental health already,
Yeah.
whether they're in or out of a relationship, these kinds of things become like difficult,
Yeah.
like, and it can be like, so I was looking up different stats, right? Just
Yeah.
in preparation for today, like what would be some like interesting things. And one of the things that I found was that 15% of women send themselves flowers to work every Valentine's Day.
That's so cringe.
And I was just like, that is so sad.
That's so cringe.
Like,
But like,
can you imagine like
no.
how sad you must feel in your life that you're sending yourself flowers on so many levels? One, you don't have anybody,
Yeah.
or you have somebody who
Who's not
isn't going to do something for you or whatever, right?
bomb.
Like that.
Yeah.
And two, that like you're in such a place in your life where you're so concerned about the judgment of the people that you spend so much time with in the workplace.
Yeah.
And if you don't receive, like, you could be married for 25 years and your husband not sending you flowers to work. You know what I mean? Like,
Flowers could be waiting at
that's not like
home.
an
Like, I don't.
right, that's not like
Yeah.
a real indicator of anything, but
Yeah.
people get so, like, wrapped up in these, it boils down to emotions and, like, the struggle around their emotions and what's happening that
Yeah.
people go out and do these things, and then it's like, so you said, like I was thinking, like, this statistic really, like, stuck in my head,
That's
because I was
crazy.
thinking about, like, the process of that, like, so you
That's
go through
crazy.
you order the flowers, okay. The flowers show up. Now you're putting on like a
So,
charade.
now you're an actress.
Now
You
you're an
deserve an
actress,
Oscar.
and you're like, "Oh my god, Bobby is like never lets me down," or whatever, right?
For me?
And then but then, like, after all of that is over, right? Like, now you're driving home with yourself and your flowers that you sent you from fake Bobby. By the way, I'm saying Bobby because I just watched the Whitney biopic, and so, like, Bobby's in my head. And, like, now, like, that has to be, like, the most grueling, like, car ride or bus ride home where you're, like,
Bus ride?
commuting home with your, like, fake sent to you flowers.
Everyone's oh my god,
I
that's
just like,
crazy.
the whole thing just made me feel like this is, oh, so horrible. I just
It's
wanna hug all 15% of y'all that are doing that. Please don't do that. Nobody knows.
please don't do that.
You don't
No,
need
I
to do
mean,
that. You don't need, first of all, you don't need to validate yourself for anybody else up in this piece.
well, yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
And Becky from work, who cares if she side eyes you
Yeah,
any day of the week, especially on Valentine's Day.
especially. Like,
Ugh.
I don't wanna make fun of these women because, like but it's just so cringe to me, like and I think it just highlights for me, like I think being in a relationship is oftentimes like glorified. Like it's for women, it's like a thing to strive for. It's a thing to like aspire to be in a relationship. And I think that's just highlighting that. And I think culturally we back that narrative that like as a woman, like you're supposed to be paired up with somebody. You're supposed to be somebody's wife. And like that's one of like your main roles in life, you know? And I know like I have cousins who are like approaching 30 and it's like a frenzy to like find their partner. You know, part of that is biological. I think, you know, there's the underpinning of a biological clock that drives the emotions that, you know, especially if a woman wants to have children. But like, girl, like, we all need to be okay by ourselves, like, and that's the only way that we're gonna be able to step into a relationship that gives you all of the things that you imagine and want, and so, like, that guy who's going to bring you flowers or send you flowers is on the other side of you being okay with you just being you and by yourself and, like, whole and complete without somebody
Mhm.
else,
Like,
you
shout
know?
out to Miley's song "Flowers," right? This
Yes!
is like,
Yes!
this is why it's such a jam,
Yes!
right? Because
Yes!
it's like, you can do all of these things.
Yes!
You could buy yourself flowers, and you don't need to send them to work and say they're from Bobby.
Yes! I buy myself flowers all the time, and I'm in a relationship. He'll come over,
Yeah.
like and I'll be like, "Oh, I just got those" you know, I made my own bouquet because I love flowers. Like, I'm not gonna wait
Mhm.
on you to get me flowers every time, like
I got time to be sitting around here waiting on you to go buy me flowers. You probably not even gonna buy me the kind of flowers that I like.
That's what I'm
Like,
saying.
I'm just
It's like
my own flowers.
yeah, buy your own flowers, but don't but, like, be okay with buying yourself your flowers, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
I
that's
really feel like all people, men and women, regardless of like what type of your relationship you're in related to like sexuality, gender, any of those things, just individuals should spend time with themselves. Even if you're in a relationship, you
yeah.
should spend time doing things that help you to like fall in love with yourself. Like
Yeah.
you should go out to dinner by yourself and see what
Yes.
that's like. Like go
Yes.
to the movies. Go and like there's a movie that you want to go see and nobody wants to see it. What you
Go.
gonna do? Go miss the movie?
Yeah.
Like, go see the movie, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like, those things, like, going places, doing things on your own, we always talk about things like journaling and these other kinds of things, but there are other, like, just experiences of life, doing them by yourself that open up not just the world, but in that process, you open up yourself to you, like
Yes.
traveling by yourself, doing different experiences, taking an art class, or there's even so many things that are free online right now that you can like really stretch yourself outside of the box
Yeah.
and get to like know yourself more. And like this is, I feel like, such an important piece of what this day should be about. And like I feel like
Yeah.
when it comes to Valentine's Day, I would feel better about the bullshit around it if maybe there was anything happening in the world that like people were saying or doing these kinds of things. Like
Well,
you can't walk into like a store and find like anything that is like around self-love or
I
like
know.
anything like that. It's all about like being tied to
Couple
another person.
coupled them. I mean,
Yes,
there's an opportunity there, and especially from a mental health perspective. Yeah, it's true. It's true. And even as someone who is in a relationship, who absolutely loves being in a relationship, being in this particular relationship, but I'm a Cancer, we're known to be lover girls. Um, like even still, I know that like I could never manifest a healthy relationship if I wasn't like so okay with me. Like with like who I am, and like also like I pour so much into myself like constantly, and I think that that's missing. I mean, there's like self-help books, and like the self-care movement has been on the rise lately. Everything is hashtag self-care on social media, but I don't feel like the narrative has really caught up when it comes to coupledom. Like I feel like I said before, I feel like it's just so glorified. Like people would rather be in a toxic relationship sometimes than be single, right? Like
for sure.
and that I think is because it's so ingrained in our culture that being single equals sadness, and that's not the case. I mean, you're a wonderful example of this. Anytime we have these conversations, you're like, um, I'm
I'm like,
fine.
I'm happily married to my singleness. Thank you.
Our assistant, Allison, when we were on Summit, she was like, I know both of you are unavailable, even though you're single and you're in a relationship, you're both unavailable. And you were like, yup.
I was like, my messaging is clear.
I still think it's just a matter of, the right person sweeping you off your feet, but we have to get into that right now.
I
But
don't need to be swept. Thank
you don't
you.
need to,
Something
but
that you
it
do to
feels
dirt
nice.
on the floor.
It feels nice. It feels nice to have someone who's gets you.
Sweeping is something you do to dirt on the floor.
Lord.
Your eyeballs are gonna roll out of your face like that.
I feel like they're gonna fall off and roll across my desk.
No, you should put on some dark shades like mine. They'll
Eye
be
roll.
protected. They'll just bounce out and pop right back in.
Roll counter, please. We need an eye roll counter on these podcast episodes. I know we had a sniffle counter the last one. Oh my goodness.
Seriously. No, but I'm not anti-relationship. Like if by way of life I met, and I know at some point I will
Yeah.
meet somebody that is like a fit for my life, my whatever.
Yep.
They fit like a glove into my
Glove,
life.
baby.
I
Yeah.
mean, a glove, a leather glove, like OJ Simpson. If it doesn't
If the
fit,
glove don't fit,
you
it ain't
must have
it.
quit. Like there is no stretch or wiggle room.
Ah.
Exactly. It's gotta be like the Cinderella slipper
Yes.
glass. Okay? It fits perfect, or that shit shatters.
She said, "No wiggle room, no wiggle room." I feel that though, and that's your right as an individual.
It's just that at this particular point in my life, I have done all of the going to movies by myself and
Mhm.
raising kids essentially by myself and owning homes by myself and cars and businesses and so many things, right? And so I know that there are a lot of people in the world who get worried about that or are intimidated by it or like whatever the case may be. And like literally since I was 5, I was always the kind of person who doesn't like make myself smaller for somebody else.
Yes.
And like as I've continued to grow into a powerful, independent woman and surround myself with other powerful, independent women. Like, I don't have friends that are doing nothing. You know, like everybody that I know is
Yeah,
like
yeah,
owning their own business, running these big businesses, you know, like even my friends who are stay-at-home moms that get such a bad rap for staying at home.
yeah.
And when I'm around them, I'm like, "You work harder than everybody that I know." Like, this is unbelievable, the
Yes.
things that they do. So, like, I like even my network of people. So it's like I know that a person that comes into my life has to be able to have the confidence to like acclimate into all of that thing with that stuff with ease.
Big boss energy
And
only.
yeah, I'm not gonna argue with you or anybody else about the fact that, like, I have a male friend or why are all your
Ooh,
friends so da da da? I don't know.
ooh.
Why is that the thing you picked up on about all my friends? Because they are
Why
a
you
bunch of
guessing?
queens.
Listen, if anybody says anything about your friends, really, side eye,
Listen, almost
side eye.
every relationship I've ever been in, I've had conversations about my friends.
Hmm.
And that's always the, like, "What time are you leaving?"
Yeah, it's it's
"Forever."
the intimidation factor. I mean, I think you're touching on something that a lot of powerful women struggle with, especially with dating. Like I was listening to a podcast, not podcast. It was just I think it was an NPR segment with Tracy Ellis Ross, and
Ooh, I love her.
I love her. She is
She
the
has it
epitome.
about she's
Yes,
another one who's wedded to her
yes,
singleness.
yes. And she
Mhm,
talked about that. And, I feel like I've had this conversation with women in our group of friends and other powerful women where it's like, as a woman, it can be really challenging as a powerful woman to find a partner who really is also super confident in their power and doesn't, like you said, try to dim your light in order to feed their male ego, right? If we're talking about
mhm,
a heterosexual relationship. And she was talking about how in Girlfriends, she played a character who always aspired to be married with children. And so, as a great actress, she had to like embody that spirit in that character for so long. And it started to seep into her personal life. And she had this moment where she was like, wait a second. Like, I travel by myself. Like, I do all these things by myself. Like, I'm fine. I'm happy. Like, there's
mhm,
nothing missing from my life because I'm not married or that because I don't have children. And I think that's a really powerful place to come to as like we were saying, like as a woman, but also as an individual. But yeah, if
mhm,
you are a super powerful woman, which I consider myself to be, obviously, like you and I, we are in great company. You are the company you keep, right? And so it can be very challenging to find a partner who's not like a drag, right? Trying to
mhm,
bring you down, who really exemplifies the like being there for you, but then also has their own thing going on. The other person that I think of is our girl Paris Hilton. I recently saw
Yes.
a thing with her.
Sliving slay.
"Slipping girl, slay." She was talking to her sister, and I think this was before she was married and before she had kids. And her sister, I think, got married, had kids like way before her, and they were just like talking. And Paris was like, "Yeah, like I definitely want to have kids. And I definitely want to be married, but like none of these dudes fit the bill. Like either they are like completely emotionally unavailable or like they follow me around like a little puppy." She was like both of
To
those
all of
are
it.
just no, like it's no. Seems like she found a great guy who's like great on his own accord and like supports her, and they have a family now, and that's great. And for her it was worth the wait. And so I think like the overall takeaway is like be good on your own, and then like whoever's meant to be in your life will come and be in your life, and don't let a holiday like Valentine's Day get you down. Like you can have a romantic ass evening with yourself. Run a bubble bath, honey. You
Girl, I was
know,
just gonna say, cue the bubble bath.
yes. Cue the bubble bath, cue the
Cue it.
champagne, right? Get some La Marca, pour it in a cup, get in the
Yes.
tub, light a
Light some
candle or two,
candles.
light a candle or two, and enjoy yourself, you know?
Get 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 some incense going. Get some music. It doesn't have
Yes.
to be romantic music. It could be whatever
No.
kind of music you like. Maybe you want to take a bubble bath and listen to Meg The Stallion, okay?
Fuck my baby dad.
It just should be about you, like this. So I feel like back to your original question of like, why do I hate love? I don't. I hate I don't really hate anything. So I don't even want to really use the word hate. Really dislike like the fact that on December 26th we start seeing fucking Valentine's Day hearts in the stores, and like it becomes about the wrong messaging. The wrong, it's just to me, it's just the wrong messaging, and it's important that we pay attention to the things that make us happy and healthy mentally and physically, and like creating a life that we love for ourselves, because we're all walking through this thing called life, like regardless of if you're in a couple or not, you're
Mhm.
walking through your own life alone.
Yes. Like my
And
mom always
so
says,
you got to
you're
be happy with it, because you never know what's going to happen.
it's true.
Think tragic things happen every day, unexpected things happen every day. And so the work is about, like, to me, like finding that inner peace, that inner love.
Yes.
And I wish that was what we were celebrating on February 14th.
Well, maybe we need to make a self-love day. We need to proclaim one day a self-love day and make
Yes,
that a thing.
this is what we should put on our calendars.
Yes, yes. Yeah, it's so important. I mean, it's so cliche, but like how can you love anyone else if you don't love yourself? It's so
Mhm,
true. It's so true.
mhm.
And also, there's all kinds of love to celebrate. The love between a parent and a child, like you talked about, making Valentine's Day special for our kids. The love between, cousins, the love between girls groups. In a lot of ways, I know my girlfriends know me way better and differently than my partner does, because it's a different relationship. It's a different kind of love, and that deserves to be celebrated too. So, you
Yeah,
know,
like this year I offered to be with my nephew on Valentine's Day so my sister and her husband can go out, and it's
oh,
like, to me,
fun.
that's like I'm showing my sister and her husband how much I love them by giving
Mhm,
them time to themselves, and
mhm.
I get to do something fun and Valentine's Day-ish with my nephew, and
Yeah.
spend some, like, quality time with him. So there's just so many different ways to, like, celebrate a day that should be focused on love, like you said,
Yes.
Diana, but
Yeah.
unfortunately, I don't think it's, like, really what the messaging is that's out there all the time.
It's true.
The wrapper of it is love, but the inside of it is money.
100%. 100%. Which, I
Now,
mean,
don't be trying to pull an
capitalism.
okey doke on me.
Capitalism. I mean, because once it's over in February, the next thing we're gonna be seeing is shamrocks everywhere, and it's gonna be liquor commercials. Sponsor us, because the next holiday is next holiday is St. Patrick's
St.
Day,
Patrick's Day.
right? So, like, that one's pretty blatant. It's just the celebration of drinking.
Yeah,
But they
that's
they
it.
wrap it in luck.
Right, it's true. They wrap it in luck and
Yeah,
Irish.
yeah, yeah.
Everybody's Irish on St. Patrick's
Yeah,
Day.
yeah, "Kiss me, I'm Irish." I definitely have worn a T-shirt that said that once or twice in my life,
Same.
and I'm not, clearly. So, yeah, marketing and cultural acceptance is real. But, I mean, I feel like ultimately we're pretty much on the same page about Valentine's Day, even though we came on here, very opposite, festivity-wise, but, like, I think morally, we're on the same page. We just
Mhm.
have a different way of going about it.
We have a different path of what the date of February 14th looks like.
Yes. Yes. Although this
You'll
year,
be
I
doing
thought
a
we were kids
romantical
too.
situation, and I'll be bumping Meg the Stallion in my bubble bath.
While your
I'll
nephew brings you
I'll be
the
like, why are you
appetizers.
still awake? Don't you know auntie's twerking in the bathtub?"
Pray your sister doesn't see this before the 14th. She's gonna be like, "You know what? Never mind."
She's gonna come home and be like, "Why is the bathroom floor so wet?" And I'm be like, "I don't know, I gotta go by."
Oh my god.
All right, everybody, enjoy your Valentine's Day or
Enjoy
your
it.
Galentine's Day or whatever you choose to do.
Yes.
Remember to love yourself though, no matter what.
Slay.
And subscribe, rate, and review our podcast.
All of it. We love you all for being with us for this long and for another year of Valentine's episodes.
And stick around for our meditation moment.
Yay! Cheers!
Bye.
Bye!